What is going on, everyone? My name is Mav, and this is Xbox Ultimate Podcast. You are watching or listening to episode number 13. Yes, we have been doing this for 13 weeks now. It has been a blast. Every week it gets better and better. I am learning. We keep improving. Now, we are also, because it has been 13 weeks, getting closer and closer to the next-gen consoles launching. The Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S are coming right around the corner. Lots of information keeps being dropped by Xbox leading up to the launch of consoles. We got a lot to talk about with some news that was dropped today, some information from this week, and also fun speculation about what might be around the corner as well. So before we get started with all of that, I want to make a quick announcement on the podcast. I also have this video up on my YouTube channel. That's an announcement, and also on my Twitter. So I am doing a giveaway, and this giveaway is for a special live stream I have happening on my YouTube channel at Fun Speculation, and it's going to be on October the 30th, the night before Halloween. I'm having Fun Speculation Fright Night. It is going to be a blast. We're going to have guests. I'm going to have God's Geeks. If you're familiar with his channel, you know that he loves Xbox and he makes some awesome videos. In fact, Aaron Greenberg actually shared one of his videos with the Xbox team because it was so impressive to him. He said it gave him chills. So that's awesome. So check out his channel. It is a really good channel, especially if you're an Xbox fan. Now, on the 30th, I'm going to have guests, including him and some other community members. One, if you guys follow on Twitter, his name is Fugly. He's awesome. Also, we're going to have some other people stumble on. I haven't even went around and asked so much people yet, but I guarantee you we'll have some more guests. It'll be a blast. This giveaway, I'm giving away a copy of Cyberpunk 2077. It is a digital code that I will either give to you for Xbox, PlayStation, or PC on Steam, whichever one of those three platforms you prefer, to the winner. There will be one winner, and you have to do three things to enter the contest. You have to go onto my Twitter at Fun Speculation, and you need to retweet the tweet at the top of my profile. Second, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And third, at some point during the stream on the 30th for the Halloween live stream, please just type into the chat 2077. That is the final piece. That is the code that will enter you into the contest. If you do all three of those things, you're entered. I don't know how long the stream is going to go for. I know it'll at least be 2 hours. Okay. If we're having a ball, it could go 6 hours. But at the end of the stream, I will do the drawing. And I will message the winner. So you don't have to stick around for the whole thing. Just as long as you entered in 2077 at some point during that stream into the chat, and you did those other two things, sub to my YouTube channel and retweet the tweet on my Twitter account, you will be entered with a chance to win the copy of Cyberpunk 2077, which is guaranteed to be the biggest game of the year at this point. I think everybody is super pumped about that game. It's going to sell like crazy. So check it out. If you are watching this on YouTube right now, you can actually see the graphic I have that actually kind of tells a little bit about the giveaway. The Friday night, also, 7 p.m. Eastern time for you people. So check it out, guys. It's going to be a blast. I'm planning on having some fun. We're going to play some horror games, maybe some Call of Duty, the Zombie Royale mode. Who knows all we'll play, but we'll figure it out and it'll be a blast. So that's, again, on the 30th. Now, I want to get into our first topic, which is the fun speculation of the week. Now, I always like talking about this because it's just fun to think about some of these things. Now, not necessarily all this stuff is going to happen, right? But it's fun to think about, hey, what could happen, right? And that's why I do the fun speculation. It's meant as a fun topic. It's not meant to be a prediction 100%. It's meant to be just things that are fun to discuss. Now, we do know from Xbox that they're having some kind of events at the launch of the console, okay? They have been posting on Twitter the New Zealand account, which will be the first place, I believe, that the Xbox will go on sale. On November the 9th at 11 p.m. New Zealand time, there's going to be some kind of event there. Also, Mexican Twitter account, a Mexico Twitter account for Xbox has tweeted out something similar. Now, we have not had official confirmation on what those events are. We have not had an announcement of a similar event yet for the US. I think the home base Xbox, Xbox is in the US, right? Microsoft is a US company. I think there's going to be an event hosted by Xbox that is going to be kind of like the big event, right? And we don't know which one it is. We don't know when they're going to announce it, but I think it's going to happen. I think there's going to be some bigger event right before launch, a big celebration. You're going to see all the big bosses at Xbox. You're going to see some announcements and things like that. I think we're going to get that right before launch, and I want to know what you guys think. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think this is going to be like a show, like a live event where we're going to have like trailer games revealed, and new trailers for these games? Do you think there's going to be any kind of like acquisition announcements at a show like this? Is there going to be release dates announced? I think something like this is going to happen. It's fun to talk about because I'm excited. I think on November 9th. Now this is you can chalk this down as a prediction, and if you watched Mad's gaming channel, another shout out to his channel. I'll be on that show on Fridays on the Next Gen Squad podcast, joining in there. I kind of made this prediction on there. I think on November 9th, the Initiative will reveal their game to the world. We'll know what they're working on. And that game will be announced as a 2021 holiday title. And we will get a gameplay trailer. That is a outlandish prediction, maybe to some. I think it's possible. I don't know. The farthest fetched thing about that is the release date, probably being 2021. However, it's possible. We could see it. I don't know what it is. I do know that they've been working on this game and it's in a playable state. So, the Initiative. Now, also, we could get other game announcements. Now, if you're going to drop something like that, I think you want to do it at some kind of celebration thing. If it doesn't happen then, it's going to happen at the Game Awards, probably. Because you want to announce that game at a big event, I believe. You want a lot of crowd. You want an audience. A reason I think that game is going to be the one that's announced. And the reason I think that game is going to be the one that they're going to be showing off, and it's going to be part of maybe the end celebration of this whole thing, is because the amount of hype that type of studio could generate with whatever they show. The day before the console launches, you want an explosion of hype to happen on the internet. You want people to be excited. You want people to be talking about your console and how their mind was blown by what they just saw. And the hope for the future, knowing that the future is guaranteed to have smash hit games that are going to look amazing on the console. Everybody knows the value now that you get on Xbox. That, I don't believe, can be questioned by anybody with the value that Game Pass brings. And also all the optimizations they're giving to us for free on all of their titles. All of these things. Value is there. But there's some people that still have a question over all of these games that are going to be announced and how they're going to actually look, because they just trust that PlayStation side has those AAA exclusives that look great and play great, and they do. But you can't tell me that studios like Obsidian, Bethesda, you got just there's what 23 studios now. You have the Coalition, and we're going to talk about them some more in a little bit. You have all of these Bethesda game studios, Machine Games, um, id, there's just so many developers now making big games for Xbox. Playground, making big games for Xbox. They're going to be incredible. Okay. And we're going to be seeing those games in 2021, 2022, 2023. We don't know exactly what the release dates are going to be. But once we start seeing gameplay of these games being shown, another one will be Ninja Theory, and Hellblade 2 is going to probably blow some people's minds when we see that gameplay. And that could also be shown at whatever event this is. If it's my guess, I would say we might see the Initiatives game at one of the two events, either the Game Awards or the whatever the launch event for the Xbox is. And I think we'll see the other game, either Hellblade 2 or the Initiatives game, at the Game Awards. I don't think we'll see both at the same. I think we'll see one and one. I think they're saving, right? Want to make sure they have a big splash at each show. And if we don't, I'll be wrong, and that's fine. I don't care. It's fun speculation, right? So I think that's possible. Now, these games are going to be massive, and they're going to show well. But if you want that like hype right before launch, to get people talking more about Xbox around launch time, even though they're all going to sell out anyway, then you're going to drop that thing right before the launch date, and you're going to get people excited. You're going to show them something that's like, hey, this is only going to be possible on the Series X and the Series S next gen, and it's going to look like this, and this is going to be the only place you're going to be able to get that experience. And that's very possible that could happen, and that's what I think. So launch events, we know that there's all these smaller launch events. Now, is it going to be like a XO20? Is it going to be like the last event they had, just the digital event? I think it's more likely that it's a digital event, with everything that's been going on in the world. I don't think they're just going to all of a sudden say, hey, who cares about everything that's been going on? We're just going to throw this big old party with everybody. I think there's still going to be mainly a digital event. And they're going to be celebrating, and I think we're going to get some announcements. And I think that's part of what all this Xbox Fan Fest stuff is, which they're having the first event with that tonight with the trivia. And supposedly there's going to be some surprises there. I don't think they're going to drop anything massive at that event, but I think there could be a little something there that we learn. Now, also, what else could they possibly have for that event? We don't know. Like, if they have any other major announcements acquisition-wise, it would probably happen that day, but they would have to be ready to show it. There's been a lot of people talking about stuff and behind the scenes that seem like they know things, but we don't know anything, right? Sometimes noise is just that. Sometimes it's just noise, So I'm excited to see what they have in store. This is going to be a very long, anticipatory, hyped up, was it 18 days now? 17 days, 18 days, whatever it is. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. And whoever, if you weren't able to secure a Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S pre-order, that's okay. You know what? You still get to enjoy in all of this celebration of Xbox. You still get to enjoy in Game Pass and all of these new games that are going to be coming out. For the most part, you're going to be able to experience those. So, this is good for every Xbox owner. And in the future, when you can get your hands on one of those X's or S, you'll be equally as excited as people are right now that have gotten one. So I want to kind of move on into the next topic, which I told you there was a little bit more coming and talk about the coalition, right? Because we did learn something today from the coalition. And that's kind of an exciting announcement. So we know that there was a optimized version of Gears 5 coming for next gen that's available at launch. And it's going to have, as you see on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, 120 frames per second multiplayer. It's going to be 4K 60, smooth as butter. They're putting enhanced, like I think it's global illumination, whatever it's called. I'm not a tech guy, right? But it freaking looks gorgeous. They shared screenshots of the game with different versions of it. The PC and ultra settings, and they had the Xbox One X and they had the Series X. And wow, the Series X was freaking impressive. Okay, the way that they optimize that game visually and also with performance just looks great. Okay, I'm excited about it. Now the surprising thing for me was not just the performance, because we already kind of knew that. That's what we knew. The surprising thing was there is actually going to be a campaign story expansion releasing later this year in December or sometime. It is the Hive Busters expansion. Supposedly it's going to be around 3 to 4 hours long, enhancing the story. And the other thing that the guy pointed out is that the expansion was designed for the first time now that they have, the Gears, they have the Series X and Series S dev kits and everything. They can actually optimize that new content purely for next gen, and then make it more downscaled for regular gen, right, for current gen. So there's going to be more visual enhancements and optimizations taken on this new DLC that is going to showcase the new hardware even more. I expect it to be extremely visually impressive, and they're going to probably use it as a little bit of a showpiece to be able to have trailers and gameplay, stuff like that shown for it. So I'm excited for that. I think it's going to probably show really well because Gears 5 already looks amazing. And especially with the optimized version, the things we've been seeing from that, it looks even better. So this new 3 to 4 hour DLC expansion, I'm excited for that. Now the other thing is with just the regular optimized version. Okay, we're getting other stuff as you see on the screen. Batista, sorry, Dave Bautista, as some people know him, Batista, is going to be in Gears 5 as Marcus Phoenix. You're going to be able to switch to him, and you will not only get to play as him, as Marcus Phoenix, which if any of you guys know, he's a big Gears fan, and he's been trying to get, to play Marcus Phoenix in a Gears movie, right? So this is his chance to take on the role. He is going to be Marcus Phoenix in Gears 5. You can switch that on or off. And not only does he look like Batista, he sounds like him too. So that is awesome. He seems like a cool guy, and it's just this is just a fun thing for fans. They didn't have to do this. This is fan service. This is stuff that's extra that give people an exciting thing to play, to go back and experience the game in a different way. And it's just going to be a blast to do that. So I thought that was really cool. Now, New Game Plus, you got what they're calling mutators. You can have new achievements, new character skins, and there's going to be new difficulty modes, making the game even harder. So they're expanding on the game in more ways, and that's awesome. Gears 5 is going to feel, to a lot of people, like a brand new experience. So I'm super excited to be diving back into that. Hopefully, this is a sign of things to come for Forza Horizon 4, which we have not seen the optimized version of yet. We have not seen a lot of information, but we know that it's coming out on at launch with the optimized version. So I think we're going to get some more information with that. Hopefully, they put as much love into that as they have Gears 5. So I'm excited. And if you guys missed it, Master Chief Collection is also getting that treatment. Now that one is not available at launch, I don't think. I have to go back and look. I don't remember. But Master Chief Collection is going to be getting 4K, 120 frames per second. It's getting the optimized version treatment, and this is all free for us if you already own the game. So again, it's that value. It's enhancing products we already own, the games we still love to play, and that's awesome. Okay, so now talking about Gears 5 and seeing some of this reminded me of, especially some of the gruesomeness in the video, reminded me of another game I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this game because it's personally a game I really enjoyed playing around the launch of the Xbox One, the VCR Xbox One. You know, when 2013, when everybody was complaining about Xbox, but there were still some great games, and one of them was Killer Instinct. This was a game that universally, by fighting game fans especially, was also loved. It had awesome mechanics. It looked great. The only downside with that game is it launched with a lack of content because they did this kind of seasonal approach to the game, which was fine, I guess. They did announce that there's going to be a patch for Killer Instinct to make it fully backwards compatible. It's not going to have any optimizations or anything like that, but we all know that it will be running well on the Series X. But when I saw that, it got me thinking, like, I want a next gen new Killer Instinct game. I want it developed as a complete package. I don't want this 4-character release, right? I want an all-out brawler, not brawler, but all-out fighting game made by some really great fighting game developer for Xbox. And imagine, and a lot of people have been talking about this, and so I put out there on Twitter, like, hey, what do you want to see? Imagine the amount of different characters you could throw in there in a new Killer Instinct game. There are so many new studios and new IPs as part of the Xbox family. You could also go out and maybe get third-party support for this as far as licensing on characters and stuff like that. But the amount of characters you could have in a new Killer Instinct game would be awesome. Now, Xbox, I think, needs to go out and get somebody to do this. They need to go and get a studio. Now, one idea I had in my mind was, I don't know Roundhouse Studio very well. Now, they're a newer studio, or maybe a studio that's transformed, as I recently learned, of that Bethesda acquisition. To me, Roundhouse just sounds like a fighting game name, right? Like Roundhouse Studio sounds like a developer of a fighting game. So maybe that's who they were, because that is a type of game that was also missing from the ZeniMax portfolio, right? So maybe that's what the plan was for them. Now, if you were to make a new Killer Instinct game and you brought them in to do it, you could have characters from all of the ZeniMax Bethesda studios. You could have characters from all of these Xbox brands from over the years, with a solid fighting game mechanics that Killer Instinct brings, which is different than any other fighting game, really. So it's unique. It has a fan base because it is unique. It's not like the others, right? So I hope they're working on this. And I think if we talk about it enough, if we speculate on it enough, if we talk about it enough, maybe we can make this happen. Do you think we can make this happen? So I put out on Twitter, what characters do you want to see? And I'm curious for you guys. Send me a email at funspeculation@gmail.com. Send me a tweet at funspeculation, or leave in the comments. What fighting game characters would you want to see? It doesn't have to be actually from a fighting game. What Xbox characters do you want to see in a new Killer Instinct game for next gen, Series X, Series S exclusive game, maybe 2022, something like that? Think of, I put out there on Twitter the Arbiter. I would love to see the Arbiter. One of my favorite characters in the Xbox universe. I think he's just an awesome character. I love the story arc and everything there. I saw somebody put Atriox on there. Somebody put Doom Guy. Somebody put Senua from Hellblade, and then I was like, okay, that's a brilliant idea there, you know. So I want to hear some more ideas, guys. You know, just think about the possibilities of, you know, and you can kind of see where, if you look at Mortal Kombat, you can see where I'm going with this, because they have so many guest characters, and as you just saw, Rambo was announced for Mortal Kombat, and they just showed the gameplay of that, and they freaking nailed it. He looks awesome. If you're a fan of like those 80s movies and everything, you know, Mortal Kombat has a lot for you right now with Terminator, RoboCop, Rambo. It's just a lot of fun, you know. Video games are meant to be fun, and some people see this just like, hey, it's just a way for them to make money or whatever. But yeah, it is a way for them to make money. But if they're making money because we're having fun, I'm okay with that. If they're making fun because they're trying to just manipulate us and, you know, do whatever, but if they're making awesome content that we actually want, then that's fun. I'm fine with that. You know, I want to play as Rambo. I want to play as RoboCop. I want to play as Terminator. You know, and for Xbox, I want to play as all these other characters. You know, I think it would be a blast to see. And the other thing about Mortal Kombat is they are actually bringing out next gen enhancements for free for us. So this is another example of another company that is optimizing their game for next gen and giving us that version for free instead of releasing it as a definitive edition. So on November 17th, I'm actually going to be planning to stream a Mortal Kombat 11 on next gen consoles playing, and we'll see if we have some guests there too. I know one of the guys that likes to watch me on stream, his name's Unknown. He's planning on bringing the heat again. I'm going to be playing against him. I lost pretty badly to him last time, but we're going to see how many wins I can get against him, and maybe whoever else wants to join. So contact me if you want to join in on that. November 17th, Mortal Kombat 11. That's when Rambo drops. That's when the next gen enhancement drops for Mortal Kombat 11. So I'm excited about that. And who do you guys want to see for the next Killer Instinct game? At some point, we're going to get one, you would think, right? They can't just let that franchise die. It's beloved in the fighting game community. It's going to happen at some point. Because this leads into the next topic. You know, we have not heard from them about a game like that. So, this was a missed opportunity. We have to face up, guys, at some point, that they did miss out on some opportunities to give us more games at next gen launch, right? I'm not saying, hey, the next gen lineup sucks. I'm not saying that the launch games suck. There's a lot of great things to play, okay? There's going to be a lot of fun things to play, and if you listen to me, you know how excited I am about all the games I already own and all these games we get to play on Game Pass and everything coming to play. However, if this maybe better planned 4 years ago, then we could maybe have some more games that are first party, that are new games at launch. Killer Instinct would have been one of those. Maybe a Forza game could have been one of those. You know, things like that. We could be looking at things different. Now we know that they put Halo all in basket on Halo, right? And it didn't work out because they had to delay the game. So that's okay. You know, we're gonna get Halo next year, and we're gonna get these games later on. But it would have been nice to see. But what is saving the day for not just Xbox, for PlayStation, everything, is these multi-platform games that are big, that are massive, and that are looking really good right now. I talked a bit about it last week with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, how amazing it looked and how they have turned that game around. I'm going to be putting up on video right now the video of that again from last week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla just looked incredible with the new information and trailer and everything that we saw. Now I also got to play the Call of Duty beta, which I did stream, and honestly, so it was pretty good, right? I'm not gonna say it was great. However, all I could think about when I was playing that game, was how is it gonna look on next gen? How is it gonna look? Because it already looked pretty freaking good running on current gen 1X. Yeah, it's one of these games that is getting a next gen version, and the next gen version then is going to have 120 frames per second mode. So I kept thinking like, wow, how is this game going to look and how is it going to feel? You know, um, Call of Duty is massive. Assassin's Creed is a massive game. Watch Dogs is a huge game. 2K21, if you've seen the trailer for that game, you know how amazing the graphics look on NBA 2K21. It looks like it could be the best graphical showpiece potentially for next gen consoles. Dirt 5 with 120 frames per second mode also looks like it's going to be really fun to play. I'm not going to say it has the best visuals, but Dirt never has. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a fun game to play. And if you want to experience 120 frames per second, you got the display for it. That is a showpiece to be able to showcase what that means. And I'm excited that we have these multi-platform games from these publishers actually leading the way with this, especially Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion looking like they're going to be awesome and give us some games that we're honestly really not even going to have enough time to play everything because there's just too much awesomeness out there. Now, I did skip one game because this game is the most anticipated game of the year, and now it is not even a next gen title. This game has been delayed so much because it is so massive that it has pushed itself into the post next gen launch. It went from supposed to be coming out last year or whatever. Now it's coming out after the next gen consoles launch. So a lot of people are seeing this game as a next gen launch game in a way. Now it's not coming out at launch, but it's a week after. November the 17th or 19th. I can't remember exactly which day. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be hitting store shelves. That is the most anticipated game of the year. Now I know which console. If you play on console, I know which console that game is going to perform the best on, and that's going to be the Series X. I'm predicting. I'll say there's a 99% chance, unless for some reason it's weirdly optimized in a different way than most games are. But I believe that this game is going to play better on Series X than any other platform, any other console. I know there's going to be those crazy PC rigs out there, right, that are going to play everything better. But if you're a console gamer, Cyberpunk is going to be the game to play this holiday. And even though it's not even coming out with the optimized version yet for next gen, which they said I think it's going to be 2021, we're going to get that. That game looks next gen, right? It's not. If you look at Dirt 5 and then you look at Cyberpunk, okay? Now you say, okay, well this one doesn't really look next gen, but then you look at Cyberpunk, well it looks next gen. And go back and look at Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Games like this prove it's about the development and optimizing for platforms and consoles and getting the most out of what you can. Everything we've seen from Cyberpunk looks like it's going to be freaking incredible. It's going to be an amazing game to look at. It's going to be an amazing game to play. We already know what they are capable of with The Witcher 3, and they've been working on this for a long time. So everybody get excited for Cyberpunk. And if you want to, again, get in on that giveaway, check out that live stream on the 30th on my channel and get entered in a chance to win that game. Okay, a digital copy of the game. It's going to be a fun night, and I'm looking forward to playing Cyberpunk also next gen. next gen after next gen launch, because I'm pretty much at this point now thinking it's a next gen game. It's in my mind now because I'm going to be playing it on Series X, Series S, that it's next gen, and I think a lot of people have switched to that also with that kind of thinking. So hey, now also I have a reader question that came up this week. So this was the one of the first emails I've gotten from one of you guys, so I appreciate it. And he had a question. Now he didn't leave his name or Twitter account or anything, so I'll call him DMB because that was the start of his email address. So DMB, he says this. He says, "Awesome podcast, big Xbox fan, but I am in a dilemma." He says he has an Xbox One S and Game Pass. He's been heavily planning on purchasing an Xbox Series X. But he also says all of his close friends game on the PlayStation, and he is a huge fan of From Software games. Basically the Souls games, right? Souls-like games. Then he says, I am stuck with the decision of either sticking with Xbox with a library of games that I currently own, or switching to PlayStation to play with friends that I love. So, he's kind of, I know a lot of people may be in this boat right now, trying to make this decision, right? And I remember going back to when I was younger, for myself, having this worry at certain times, right? Back when the 360 and the PS3 came out, and then when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, there was a lot of people at that time that were saying they were going to PlayStation. So, and he says that he knows I am an Xbox guy, and so is he, but he feels so torn. So here are the solutions that he thought of. Keep his Xbox One S and buy a PS5. Now he could buy a PS5 and Black Friday 2021, which is a year away, get a Series S. Or he could buy a Series X and cross-play when he can. So I did email him back and I told him I would answer it on this show. Now, my answer, may not like it, I don't know. But it's going to be a little unclear because really it's up to you. And it's up to what is the most important to you. Now, when I go back to trying to make a decision like this, and you know you can only afford to get one, right? You can only afford the Series X or the PlayStation 5 right now, okay? Or for whatever reason, maybe you just only want to get one right now, okay? And a lot of people are going to be in this situation. So, which one do you feel like you would be more regretful not owning? That is my answer. Now I can go back and forth on this, and because there may be some other people listening to this that might be having the same questions or dilemmas about which console to buy. Now, as an Xbox guy, obviously I prefer Xbox, but I also have a PlayStation 5 pre-ordered because I do play games on PlayStation. Not anywhere near as much as I do Xbox, but I do like those exclusives. Now, for me personally, I have my friends on Xbox Live and from the Xbox community and the gaming community that I have in my friends list that I play games with. And then I have my family and real friends and everything in real life. Not saying that the other guys aren't real friends also, so don't mistake that. But people that I know in my real world that I see face to face all the time. Okay. Now I don't really play games with any of them. Now some of them do play games, right? And I casually sometimes will play games, but it's not the same as playing with the guys that I game with on a regular basis. Okay. So I would say this: if your friends is who you plan on playing with the most, then that's what you should do. If that's going to bring the most enjoyment to you. But if you don't usually play games with those people, and you don't necessarily know if they're going to enjoy playing the same games that you play, or are going to be talking that much to you in party chat or any of that kind of stuff, then you may not get the same joy out of the community that you already do enjoy on Xbox. So you got to weigh both options. For me, one of the reasons I've stuck with Xbox so long is because of the friends I have over there. I still play games and talk to people that I've known now on Xbox Live for over 15 years. Guys that I met, Halo 2, you know, when Xbox Live first came out, just playing games together. And maybe one of those guys is going to be on a guest on a podcast soon. And these are guys I've developed close friendship with over the years. We'll text or talk, occasionally just catch up. When we started playing games, I was like 21, 20, right? So now we're all grown. We have kids. Gotten married. We have houses, and I mean, just like life is different compared to when we were back then. Now, if you have friends like that and they're on PlayStation, then go where your friends are. If it's just real world friends, and you don't actually plan on playing with them that much, then go with Xbox, right? If that's what you prefer to play. And I would say the same thing vice versa. If you were a PlayStation guy and you really loved those games. Now I will say, if you want a Souls-like game on Xbox, there's Sekiro. There's Dark Souls. And you can play those games. If you want, now PlayStation has more of them. They have Bloodborne. They have Demon Souls, and they have the Demon Souls remake, which I'm sure he is anticipated and ready for. So that's another thing. If you're not excited about anything coming right away for Xbox and you can wait on it, then just wait and get the thing you don't have now, which is the PlayStation. If you don't have a PlayStation and you have an Xbox and you're content, then just stick that way and enjoy playing on the PlayStation with your friends. Enjoy your Game Pass on Xbox and get the best of both worlds. And then later on, like you said, when Series S is on sale on Black Friday or whatever next year, then at that point dive in. Unless you're going to be more regretful. So I don't have a clear answer for you, my friend. But I would just say follow what you want the most. What are you going to feel most left out on not having? Whether that's Xbox, whether that's PlayStation, you got to make that decision. If I was making the decision for myself, I would go Xbox, but that's just me. I'm a different person than you are, right? So anyway, that's moving on from that question. Hopefully that helps you. Hopefully it just didn't make things worse. Because honestly, if I was in your shoes, I'd probably be going back and forth, right? Okay, so now I want to get into my Game Pass game of the week. Now, if some of you guys saw my stream the other day, I streamed some of this game, and I'm planning on streaming more. I was turned on to this game from people in the Xbox community on Twitter who had suggested it. I am excited to finish the game because... Oh, I didn't mean to pop that up for you guys watching. Gonna prop this back up for you. The game is Katana Zero. So the Katana Zero, first off, if you go check out that video, you'll be blown away by the music. This game has awesome music. That was my first thought when I started it, and I heard the music playing right away. I was hooked. I was like, okay, this game is going to be freaking cool. because the music is awesome. And then the more I started playing the game, it just kept getting better and better. It has this really cool like time manipulation mechanic, or they kind of see it as him seeing into the future, like making a plan and then executing it, right? It's a really cool mechanic in the game of how they're kind of switch it up. You'll have a level, and you'll have this level that you got to play, and you got to get through it without dying from the start to the exit. And if you do that, you complete it. If you die at any point, then it's like his plan didn't work, so he's still thinking it out, right? So it's a really clever way of doing this game that they came up with. I think that it's going to be a game that I'm going to enjoy finishing and playing a lot. I might even go back and play it again on Series X when it comes out, because it seems so fun. So check that game out. Give me a second here, guys. I'm trying to fix something. There we go. That's better. I had to fix something on the video. So Katana Zero. Now it's not a very long game. I haven't, obviously, like I said, I haven't beat it yet, but I'm going from what people have told me. Not a very long game. It has I've been told it's an easy 1,000 achievement points if you're an achievement guy and you like to go after those. So check it out. Katana Zero. One of those different kind of games of variety. You know, it's a lot of variety. It has kind of like a retro art style. It's a side-scrolling 2D game, left to right, you know, style, where you can you start on the left side and you go through the level, and you know it's kind of vertical too. You know, you go up and down the levels. It's an awesome game. I highly recommend it. Give it a try. It's pretty hard. It's not frustratingly hard. It's not to the point where you're gonna start throwing controllers and stuff, you know. But it does give you a challenge where you do feel a sense of accomplishment. The gameplay is solid. It feels fast and smooth. So Katana Zero, a little gem there, and it's on Game Pass, which means if you subscribe, no reason not to try it. Other Game Pass news is we just had Rainbow Six Siege hit Game Pass. So, Ubisoft? Anybody? I don't know. What do you think? But yeah, Rainbow Six Siege hitting Game Pass. Now I'm going to be playing that also on stream tomorrow, which is Saturday, for anybody looking forward to seeing some of that game. They're in like season 4 now. So I'm excited for when they announce whatever's next for Rainbow Six. That'll be interesting to see. Now I kind of want to end this episode a little differently, because I wanted to give some shout outs again to people in the community who have been supporting me. I had some milestones this week. Now, it's small milestones for me, but small milestones for YouTube, but big milestones for me. That's what I mean to say. Because I greatly appreciate all the support. I've been invited onto some podcasts recently as a guest from people in the community. I've been people sending me messages and stuff, and it's just awesome, and I appreciate everybody. A special shout out to Cam from God's Geeks. Look forward to his next video. It is the Extraordinary trailer. He's joking because he made that awesome Rebirth trailer that, if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. Aaron Greenberg from Xbox loved it so much, he shared it with the Xbox team to get them hyped. He said it gave him chills. But then he made the Defeat trailer, which was equally awesome. And people have been clamoring now for a third one, which is the Extraordinary trailer. So keep an eye out for that, guys, on God's Geeks YouTube channel. Also, Mads Gaming has been kind enough to invite me to be on his podcast every Friday, the Next Gen Squad. I will be there at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. on that podcast, and it is going to be a blast taking a part with those guys. It's got some great guys in the community, and it was really fun. I did that today, and actually I did it on Wednesday also, kind of filling in for somebody that wasn't able to make it. But it's been a blast so far taking part in that. Also, I've mentioned him before on this podcast, but we have a great member of the community. He goes by Fugly. And if you don't follow him on Twitter, you know what? Look at my friends list. I can't. It's Biker Gamer is his Twitter handle, but you know it says Fugly as his name. And if you're familiar with the Xbox gaming community, you are familiar with him as he's in the chat in most podcasts. He is very supportive of everybody, and I appreciate his support. One of my first listeners. And somebody that continuously shows up, I appreciate it, and that is Black Card Ev. Give him a follow on Twitter. Shout out to you, my man. So yeah, also, you know, Wilmy Hood, Boomstick. There's so many different people, you know, that deserve a shout out for helping me get going with this, and I just appreciate it greatly. So yeah, Mr. Tushi on Twitter. Yeah, that's who I'm playing Rainbow Six with tomorrow, guys. So check him out. So that's just a little shout outs I wanted to give as a thank you to everybody. I don't do this podcast live. Maybe eventually I will. I want to know if you guys would like to see it live or if you prefer the current format. Personally, this is easier for me because I can just sit here and record, and I don't have to be on a schedule. I do this in my spare time. Now, if you think that you would like to see it live or where I have guests and panelists and all that kind of stuff, you know, we can switch things up, or I can do something different and keep this separate as well. But I'm curious what you guys think. There's just so many awesome podcasts out there that are doing the live panel thing. I don't know if there's enough room for another one, to be honest with you. They just keep popping up, and there's so many cool guys and doing it, and you know, scheduling it. I don't want to step on anybody's toes either. You know, I don't want to schedule mine at the same time that any of these other guys have their podcast going, because I think they deserve also some of that spotlight. So, all right, guys, remember, you know, Game Pass Game of the Week, Katana 0. Check it out. Awesome game. Be excited for this Gears 5 news, you know? There's just so much to play. We got all these 120 frames per second games coming. Just listen to some of these 120 frames per second games coming. Now, I have one display that can handle that, okay? And I'm going to be in the market for a new TV because I'm going to want to experience this, because I want to experience everything that next gen has to offer. I'll be looking at getting that LG CX like everybody is. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, 120 frames per second. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, 120 frames. Dirt 5, Exo Mecha, Gears. I already said Dirt 5 and Gears 5. Halo Infinite multiplayer will be 120 frames per second. Halo the Master Chief Collection, Metal Hellsinger, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Orphan of the Machine, Rainbow Six Siege. It's crazy, right? Second Extinction, The Falconeer, and The Tourist. Those are just current games that have been announced to have 125 frames per second. Pretty awesome list. This is going to be a thing that continues. As we see more and more displays be put out there for 120 frames, it's going to be awesome. I saw that list. I just wanted to read that off real quick because it's pretty cool. So anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this week. Again, check out that live stream on the 30th. Follow me on Twitter at Fun Speculation. Gonna do it. Take it easy. Have a good one. Bye.